Hey everyone, Kimberly Olson here, also known as the Gold Digger Girl, coming in for our bonus session. We could not wrap up last week without doing a bonus session because what I'm going to teach you today is so important. We're going to be able to take what you learned during the Money Mindset Mastery series and apply it, practical application right here, right now. Because concepts are great, but when it comes to in that moment, you wanting to be happy and feel abundant and joyful and all the things, without the tools to do that, it can be very difficult to stay in those high vibe places. And then you get frustrated, get out of alignment, and you're attracting the things you don't want. And it's just this vicious cycle that a lot of you are experiencing on a day-to-day basis. So I'm really excited to teach you today the emotional guidance scale. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys today. And I absolutely love working off of this tool. I personally use it myself every single day, and I can't even tell you how much it's helped me. So as you guys are hopping on, I want to welcome you to this bonus training. If you didn't know, we have been masterclassing all week talking about money mindset mastery, what you can do to smash blocks, limiting beliefs, really reset your mindset for success, and then learning about the universal laws, which are so important so you can start to understand that there are real laws and energetics here at play, biblically based, that can allow us to understand how the world works. And then we wrapped it up last week with what are some things that you can do every single day to get in alignment with the wealth frequency. So we have been working on that all week. You guys have been doing homework. You guys have been showing up and crushing it. If you've been picking up what I've been dropping all week, just give me a heck yeah in the comments. Let me know if you've been loving this content. You've been rocking and rolling with us, live, replay, all the things. I know some of you binged over the weekend, which is great. Give me a big heck yes. Drop some fire. Let me know if you've been loving this content, okay? And also tag the person who invited you. If you're connecting with someone at Team Gold Digger, use the @ symbol and put their name in here so they know you're here, because they do keep track of that. They do want to know that you're here because we care just as much about your success as you do. So let us know in the comments before we dig into the emotional guidance scale. All right. So I'm going to introduce one last student to you. I wanted you to meet as many ladies from our community as possible because I think it's really important, as some of you are deciding whether to step into our group coaching programs right now that are open till tomorrow night. It's important for you to hear from others that were probably where you are right now, wondering, is this for you? Should you make this decision and step into these programs? So from backstage, one of my favorite people to work with, we become dear friends, and I think her story is really going to resonate with you guys. So from backstage, Lachelle. Hi, Lachelle.
Hey, Kimberly. Hey, everybody. It's so fun to be here. And I'm like sitting backstage listening to you thinking like, oh my gosh, I geek out on all this stuff that you're talking about. So I'm just honored to be here.
I know. I was thinking that. I'm like, I feel like she covers all of this in her programs. And we do share a lot in common because we're both strong. We have strong faiths. We absolutely love God and Jesus. We share a lot in common with having that business mind, but also love the woo-woo stuff, right? The energetics, the things that can make us just really turbocharge our results. And you are doing such a wonderful job in your business now and have been. And I'm so excited for them to meet you. So bring us up to speed. Like, how did you get into entrepreneurship? And before you got into Gold Digger World, where were you at in your business?
Yeah, so I think that Kimberly and I have a lot in common, you guys, because we both have our doctorate degrees. We both had fantastic careers before we went into this beautiful world of entrepreneurship. And really what happened with me is I was a professor and a nurse anesthetist, and I just was ready for a new challenge. I was kind of getting stagnant in my life, and I thought, well, what the heck? A friend of mine invited me to join her network marketing company, which was a skincare brand. And you guys, like legit, I wasn't even washing my face. So that's how, number one, I knew it was from God. But number two, I recognized the evergreen. I recognized just business building, and I recognized diversing all of our income streams. So that's what you're learning this week, right? And so I just jumped in, and oh my gosh, like my heart lit up. My soul was on fire. I started to recognize that I could create something called the and life. The and life, meaning that I could be challenged and fulfilled and feel like I am just lit up for life and be a great mom and be a present wife and travel the world like I want to. And at the time, I wasn't getting both. I had to choose one or the other. And so opening my mind up to entrepreneurship has given me the opportunity to share with people that the and life is possible. And that led me down this series of events that led me to coaching and business consulting. And now would consider myself a peak performance coach and a business strategist and want to help other people do what the heck I'm doing. So it's so much fun.
It is so much fun. And your most recent program you've launched is just like, yes, it just feels like you are home. You have found your jam.
Yes.
Your audience is responding. You're getting your students are just already crushing it. It's so exciting.
Yeah,
so now you're somebody who you came into Ignited Life Coaching first.
Yeah,
and then we've had a chance to work together in Accelerator. So tell us, what had you looking at our programs, and why did you say yes to stepping into our programs?
Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys, the power of our friends, right? Like I trusted my friend Sherry, who was loving your program, and had honestly, like I had never even seen any of Kimberly's stuff. I had not been following her for years, like a lot of you guys have been, and I just trusted my friend. And I met with Kimberly, and she and I both are big picture thinkers, and she casted a vision for me and my business that helped me to see where I wanted to go. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. And one of the things that I have recognized, you're learning a lot about metaphysics and quantum physics and all those things. One of my absolute favorite founders of that science is Napoleon Hill. And in his book, Think and Grow Rich, he says that when he was given the opportunity to follow by Carnegie, following all of the most successful men in America, he gave him really less than a minute to decide, and he was going to take that opportunity away. And he didn't tell him that until afterwards. And so it's like successful people, you guys recognize that when something just feels right, they go into it, they lean into it. And that's honestly what I did. And Kimberly has completely continued to level up as I've worked with her. And it's like, that's where I'm headed to. So it was just a natural transition for me to be able to continue to work with her and her team and all the things that I wanted to do. So.
Oh, that's awesome. And I love that. And Sherry would probably like laugh just going, I'm sure she told you, dude, Lichelle, I know you need to work with Kimberly. Like I can see her saying that. She was actually one of the videos I showed played at the end, and she was sharing her experience. So now that you've been in our community for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I have.
What has been like your favorite, like just ahas, results you've gotten by working in our programs?
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me, it's been the ability to work with other people who are all on a similar like trajectory and really want to go after it. I mean, like I said, I started my entrepreneurial journey in network marketing, and most of you guys know that 85% of people really don't want to make more than $500 a month. And I was like, I saw the vision, like, why don't you see the vision? Let's do this. And I really was starting to feel depleted and felt like I was maybe just a little like out there to think that this could actually work. And when I was able to surround myself with other people who saw a vision for themselves, who believed that it was possible, who wanted to go for it, who wanted to prove to themselves what they were capable of, I think that has been one of the most instrumental things. It's the who do you hang around with, right? Who do you spiral up with?
Yes, I love that so much. And we're celebrating for you. You went from you had just done in a weekend. You'd help people plan out their content. You were feeling like, okay, you wanted to do something that you could scale. And we celebrate, because you're not going to brag on yourself, but you've had a very successful career, a corporate career. I mean, you guys, she's spoken at conventions. She has, her doctorate in anesthesiology, like very well known in her space, and great income. It's one of the highest paid, salaries you can have. And you were able to walk away from that. I have chills. And you are fully living out your dream of being an entrepreneur, but traveling with your kids. You guys just went on like your dream road trip this summer. You launched your program, and you published your first book, which was a #1 international bestseller.
I did.
So I'm going to brag on you a little bit, because you're being very humble.
This year, and you guys, for real, like you listen to Kimberly and everything that she's speaking to. One of my secret sauces that I have with what I do is I incorporate quantum physics, scripture, and brain science. And this quantum physics, metaphysics is legit. And I look back at my life a year ago, not even a year ago, Kimberly, September 2nd was my last day at work in my 20-year anesthesia career. Since then, I've published 2 books, one of them being my own, and I've spoken on stages. Kimberly's as one example. In California, I've been asked to speak, in Boston. I have held my own retreats. I bought my first investment property. Like, what the heck? Like, that wasn't even on my plan. And so, like, the things that I did on my retreat last year, 95% of the things that I had on my vision board have literally come to fruition, you guys. And it's all about being in that higher level of that vibrational scale and allowing yourself to step into the person that you can become and believe that you're her. And I just cannot wait to see what you guys can accomplish this next year by listening to Kimberly and everything that she has to say.
Oh, thank you so much, Lachelle. You're so sweet. And yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about you. And just the most important thing is that you are very coachable. You show up and do the work. You've always been very limited on your time because your work has been so demanding, and with your kids and the activities and all the things. And you carved out time to make this a priority. But also you've done whatever it's taken to invest in yourself. And that is the hardest thing about all of this, is the investment for people. It's the investment of time, investment of money, and them saying, am I going to do it and show up? And you've trusted yourself. You've trusted God. You trusted me and the team. And we've really enjoyed working with you. So thank you.
Absolutely. Is it okay if I just say, one thing that
Yes.
you guys that are thinking about working with Kimberly and her team, I want you to take yourself seriously. One of the things that I find with people over and over again is that it's really easy for us to get stuck in the victim mentality. And that's going to take us to the lower layers of that vibrational scale that she's going to talk about. The more that I gave my job the excuse, the more it sucked me down into that downward spiral, right? So we have to acknowledge, like, where am I playing the victim in this, and what can I do to rise above it? And I also think that when you choose to invest in yourself, you're literally having to bet on yourself. And all of a sudden, when you write that check or you hit submit on that thing, all of a sudden it's like game on. Like, I'm not messing around anymore. Like, I can't play small anymore because I have this credit card bill or I have this thing that I have to pay. And everything inside of you shifts up because now you bet on yourself and you take yourself seriously. So the power of making that decision to invest in yourself and to bet on yourself can completely transform the way that you look at yourself, take yourself seriously, and prove to yourself what you're capable of. And so I know it's going to be scary, but if it feels expansive, if you're feeling drawn to what she's saying to you, if you're feeling like, I know this scares the crap out of me, but I feel like I'm leaning into it, freaking trust it, go for it, and watch your life change.
Oh, yes. Amen, sister. Thank you so much for saying that. And you are so right in all the levels. So you guys go follow Lachelle. We're so aligned with what we teach. So if you're digging this stuff we're talking about today and this last week, definitely check out Lachelle. So thank you, Lachelle. I appreciate you.
Bye everyone.
Bye. How awesome is that, you guys? Pretty sweet, isn't it? I know, mic drop. Yes. Okay. How many of you can see yourself a year from now? And I'm like, hey, or our team reaches out and we're like, hey, Kimberly's hosting a live event. She'd like you to share your your student experience. And you're able to come on and not be Lachelle, be your own version, to share that almost everything you put on your vision board, all the things you're calling into existence for yourself, the way you want to see your life transform, your mindset level up, your business, your financials, your family, your health, all the things transform between now and the next year. If I get you for 365 days and you make that investment, you better believe you're going to level up. It's actually really interesting. A lot of times people will say, well, when I get the money, I'll come into your program. We hear this all the time. Over the years, the people who said that, they never come into the program. You know why? They never get the money. I know that's harsh. I'm sorry. If you thought of it or said it to someone on our team, I can literally pull back conversations and show you. The people who say, yeah, when I get the money, I'll come in your program. It doesn't work that way. You have to go first. You have to step up first. You have to risk it. You have to put yourself out there. You have to say, I'm going all in with this. Okay. So, and that's if this is a priority to you. If you want to learn how to make money online, if you want to grow your business on social media, if you want to build a personal brand that's attracting the right people to you, so you actually have sales coming in, so you can pay for things like this, right? If those are the things you want to learn, then yeah, this is absolutely the conversation we're having here. And when it comes down to it, it's not usually a money issue. It's a money mindset issue. It's a scarcity mindset. It's a fear-based mindset. It's going, oh my gosh, right? And that being uncomfortable. And I don't know who I heard this from, it was years ago, but they said fear is your guidance system. Fear is showing you where the edges are of where your comfort zone, right? And the edges could be a glass ceiling, however you perceive it. Subconscious mind wants you to stay right where you are. It wants you to continue being broke or struggle or not make money from your business or not be successful. The subconscious mind does not like change. I want you to be very mindful and conscious of the fact that that's what you're up against, and to say, I feel uncomfortable with this. I don't like this change. It's not natural. And I know in order for me to really break free and get what I want in this life, that means I need to change. And there's one thing that's constant in this world, and it's change. And so the only way you're going to be different and have a different result 365 days from now is if you change in some way. And that's going to take you breaking free from the grips of your subconscious mind and society and maybe your financial situation and your spouse and all the things. So I'm going to challenge you. If you're going, I'll do this kind of thing when I have the money, I'm going to challenge you that doesn't work. You have to go first. Okay. So if you don't know what the heck we're talking about, our programs are open right now. We do not know when we're opening them again. Okay. We don't have it scheduled between now and the end of the year. I have our whole launch plan and a Trello board. So if you're like, well, maybe next month, they're open right now till tomorrow night at midnight Central. Okay. Our programs are open. We have 6-Figure Breakthrough Business Academy, which is our flagship program. It's where most people start off to get your social media on point, get simple systems, online strategies in place. And then for those of you who are already up and running, you've got social media, you've got some money coming in, and you're like, no, I have the fundamentals down. I want more, or something's missing, or I want to, add in this other piece to my business, or I just want to be around you guys. We have another program called Ignited Life Coaching. It's about double the investment. So you can invest in either of those right now. Anyone who enrolls in those programs before we close the doors tomorrow night are going to get those investment levels locked in. We have a paid in full option, which gives you a one-to-one call with me. I highly recommend doing that if you can, because I'd love to get that time with you. Or you can break up your payments to a monthly option, but you are committed to that 12 months, okay? Anyone who enrolls between now and tomorrow night will get the bonuses we have are our in-person experiences. So if you're coming to 6-Figure Breakthrough, you can come to Austin and see me in October for a 2-day mastermind. Or for Ignited Life Coaching, you can come to our beach retreat where we actually cover your accommodations as well. And that'll be in May next year. Okay. So just put boss in the comments if you happen to catch me live today and you didn't see last week and you're like, wait, what? I want to know more about your programs. What does that look like? Just put boss in the comments, BOSS, because you are ready to boss up, right? Okay, let's jump into the emotional guidance scale. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Figure out how emotional guidance scale is what I want. There we go. All right, should be showing here. Let's see if I can get it in a way that looks a little better here. So I want you guys to see everything on it. So this is called the emotional guidance scale. I adopted it from Abraham Hicks. I mentioned Abraham at some point. So I just zoomed out so you guys can see the levels here. So on the left side, we have the positive emotions. We have the higher vibe emotions. And then on the right side are the more negative emotions. And obviously our goal is to be over on the left side. Okay. This is speaking in generalities, love. Most everyone agrees that love is like the highest level of high vibe, right? We are all love. Love is all. You've all heard that before. So you could probably agree with that. But the rest of them, it's really going to be based on you as a person. So what we want to do here is we want to recognize that when we are on the left side, this is really important, you guys. When we're on the left side of the emotional guidance scale, we can get in alignment with what we want in our lives. Okay. So all the things that you claimed for yourself last week. So you want to get out of debt. You want to travel. You want to go on vacation with your family. You want to build a strong brand and just feel really confident with your social media. Those are all high vibe things. Those take the energetic match for those things is on the left side. Okay. So notice right now we're in 16. This time together, we have been in 16. So we are in knowledge, okay? And I would assume that most of you have been feeling really good being around me. You also tend to feel good when you're around me because I'm a higher vibe than you, most likely. Not all of you, but for the most part, I'm a higher vibe than those that I'm teaching and coaching as their mentor, right? So this is why whenever you are maybe at church, by the way, yesterday we got to see DJ from Full House. She was the guest at church yesterday. It was so cool. She's really awesome. Anyways, when you're at church and the pastor is like so passionate about the Bible and all the things you're learning that you just feel really good. That pastor is potentially higher vibe than you, especially with the word. And so you feel very good being around your pastor. So when you feel good around certain people, it's usually because they're a higher vibe and you feel drawn to that, okay? As long as you are open and receiving, and at least on the left side of this, okay? So while we've been together, we have been in knowledge. And you've been feeling really good because I have been up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say I've been hanging out in the top 6 here while you've been with me. I've been in love. I've, representing love, just truly loving being with you guys, sharing this information. We've gone through gratitude together with our guided visualization. You probably feel joy, passion, inspire, feeling inspiration, enthusiasm. You're feeling all of these things from me, the top 6. So you're in knowledge, but you're feeling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you feel very good being around me. Is this making sense? Just put me in the comments if this is making sense. Okay. So this is why. Have any of you, maybe you met a friend for coffee, or your husband gets home from work and he's had a really great day and he's feeling really good. So maybe, your husband's a 10, he's confident. And then you've been with your kids all day and you're a 20, you're overwhelmed. Okay. Can anyone relate to this? Or you're frustrated, 19, you're overwhelmed, and your husband comes home and he's like feeling great. He's confident, he's number 10, or he's being optimistic. Has any of you been annoyed by somebody who's happy? The reason why you're annoyed by somebody who's happy is because you're on the right side of the emotional guidance scale. Okay. When you are on the right side of the emotional guidance scale, anything from boredom down to fear, grief, depression, anxiety, powerlessness, you are not an energetic match for what you want. So even though you quote unquote say you want certain things, or you're like, I'm going to be rich, if you aren't emotionally in alignment with those things, you will continue to get things you don't want, which is bills and debt and, all the things. Okay. So what we want to do throughout the day is we want to move up the emotional guidance scale. We want to recognize where we're at and do everything we can to go up at least 1. So if any of you have been depressed before, which I have been depressed before, I felt anxious. I've gone through a lot of these. I've gone through all the emotions. It's actually, have any of you been depressed before and then you just get angry? Like maybe even just angry at like how you're feeling, at the situation, whatever you were depressed about, you just get angry. Well, you jump up to 26. So even though we perceive anger as bad, quote unquote bad, it's actually a better emotion. It's actually moving in the right direction. Okay. So we don't want to be any of the negative emotions, but we do want to move our way out. Okay. Doubt, number 22, doubt and worry. It's better to be in this place feeling doubtful or worried versus number 29, powerlessness, right? If you feel completely powerless, you are in victim mode, right? You just feel hopeless, powerless. Where if you're in doubt and worry, at least there's some traction there. You're just feeling doubtful, feeling worried about it. Okay. Obviously boredom, it's just kind of almost neutral, right? But it's definitely not a positive emotion. So what we want to do is and write this down in your notes, when you find yourself throughout the day on the right side, your job is to make a choice and get onto the left side. The way to get onto the left side is to monitor your thoughts, which created the emotion. What thought did you have to get you to the negative emotion? So here's an example. Let's say we're on 19 and we're frustrated. Okay. So we're frustrated because our internet, let's say our internet's spotty. I guess they just did an upgrade in our area, and it's actually made our internet worse. It's been kind of unstable all week. So we're like frustrated by that. We're like, oh, why do they have to do that? Why it's not working, right? What we can do is say, okay, my thought is that the internet isn't working and I pay it, I need it to work for my business. And this is really annoying, right? We're frustrated. Instead, how can I move over to the left side? Well, I could say to myself, you know what? I'm actually really grateful that I even have internet. How many of you remember dial-up? Some of you are probably too young for that. I'm not sure. Remember dial-up where you would like literally put the URL in and hit enter, and then it would go, and then it would be 2 days later, and the page would load. You know what I'm saying? So I could sit here and go, you know what? I'm so grateful for internet. Like, how cool is it that I get to live stream all around the world? You guys, I used to go door to door into hair salons selling my shampoo. I used to be a shampoo dealer. That was my first network marketing company. I would go on my lunch break and find those salons that had the suites where there was the individual, rooms. And I would wait till they were in between clients, and I would go in and be like, hey, if you've not tried this line before, I'd love to leave it with you for a week and get your feedback on it. That's literally what I would do. Or I would book pretend haircuts and have them trim my bangs. That's why my bangs were so short for a little bit there. Literally, I would do anything it took to get in front of a hairstylist, okay? I'm very grateful that I have internet. I'm very grateful that I can post something on social media and people can comment. If you can change your thoughts, you can change your emotions and your feelings. Now, sometimes you're just like, if you're depressed, and if any of you've been there, of course, as I said before, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist. There are situations where it is outside of the scope of wanting to think a better thought. Like, I am aware of that. So if you are down in 29, 28, you're in these places where you just feel powerless and you can't do anything about it, that's when we need to seek professional support. And we do have resources for you. So please reach out to our team. And for most of us on an average day, we're hanging out in frustration, we're irritated, we're overwhelmed, disappointed, we feel doubtful, we're kind of in here, right? So what we want to do is get over here, and that's going to be with those thoughts. So let's say you're on 22 and you are feeling doubtful about your ability to go live and do a live and give good content and, build up your brand. Instead, you could give yourself a pep talk, right? And say, no, you know what? I know things about XYZ. I am a nutritionist, so I could share tips on superfoods and help people feel better this fall. I'm going to give some really great tips. You could move over to being confident, which is number 10, just by talking to yourself differently, which is creating a different thought. And therefore, the result is a different emotion, okay? So feel free to take a picture of this. We do have it in a digital format. What I'll do is, if it's not already, we'll go ahead and put this in the files tab for you. I did just update the PDF version. So if you guys have this stuff, it might be the old version. This one is, I actually changed the one that Abraham Hicks made, and I made my own. So it's the same concept, but I want you guys to have mine. So if you guys want it, we'll put it in the files tab inside of the Facebook group, okay? So this is what we want to do, is every day we want to monitor, save this on your phone, take a picture of it and put it on your cell phone, and just check in with yourself. Where are you at? And then consciously make a choice to move to the left side. The more time you can spend on the left, you will find more gratitude, joy, happiness throughout the day, and you will be able to attract more of what you want. When it comes down to it, all the results are in your life are based on how much time you spent on the left side versus how much time you have spent on the right side. And most of the people, when I dig into where they're at, most of them hang out on the right side of the emotional guidance scale the majority of the time. This is where America is. Okay, if you live in America, this is where most people are over here. Most people don't like their jobs. Most people are not in happy marriages. Most people do not have good relationships with their children. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're not passionate about life. They're not hopeful. They're all over here. Because you guys are here, I know you are different. And we are not like the masses. So we're going to work on spending most of our time on the left sidebar here, okay? But that's going to start with you, and that's going to start with choice, which is really important, okay? So I would love for you guys to share in the comments what landed with you just now that you put in the comments, what resonated with you. Would love to know what stuck out for you. And how many of you feel like there's some truth to what I just shared for your own life? Meaning, how many of you just saw that and looked at that emotional guidance scale and went, okay, yeah, I can see where, I fell out of alignment. If you've heard that term before, being in alignment is just like it sounds, right? My husband just had to have his truck aligned, and he had to take it back to the dealership 3 times on Friday. And then they had to keep it overnight. Yeah, it was awesome. And just interesting day with our vehicles. And he, the reason why is because he would get in his truck and it would start pulling over. It wasn't in alignment. So if you're right here you're driving down the road and you want a straight path, right? You're going towards your goals. Well, what happens is throughout the day, you start getting out of alignment. Your truck or your vehicle is going off course, and you feel that. That pull when you're out of alignment in your vehicle, it's the pull of like, you're actually pulling yourself into the right side of the emotional guidance scale. So you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, discouraged. That's pulling you out of alignment. What you want to do is you want to get back on track. You want to get into alignment because the things that you want are on that path, right? You have to keep going down the road in the direction of what you want. And this is the interesting part. We don't know when. We don't know how. We don't know when the things are going to manifest. We don't know when they're going to come from the spiritual plane, the 4th dimension, to physical reality. Only God knows that. He's all-knowing. He knows. And how many of you have had something not happen when you wanted it to, and later on something else happened instead, and you were like, whoo, have you ever heard you dodged a bullet, right? Something you wanted didn't happen. You dodged a bullet, okay? Maybe you didn't enroll somebody you were supposed to enroll, and later on you were like, oh, thank you Jesus, right? There's things that don't happen that we want. So what we want to do is we want to be clear on what we want, okay? Be really clear on what you want. You need to know what you want. Most people don't. What do you want? And then every single day you want to focus on being in alignment with those things, letting go of when, letting go of how. You don't know. And trusting the process. If any of you did the Q&A Zoom, if you guys want it, I think we posted the replay in here, and it's pinned to the featured. If not, we'll get it in here. We did a Q&A Zoom on Friday talking about our programs. And at the end, I played a video called Jump by Steve Harvey. And he talks about that, that all the things in your life have brought you to this moment. You've been taken care of. God has seen you through those things, or he's getting you through it right now. That's true. You're worried about taking a leap. You're worried about going for the thing because you're worried about what if it doesn't work out? What if you fail? It's not failure. It's getting up and trying again. It's getting up and going again. It's learning through the process. But he's got your back. You will be okay. No matter what it is that you are wanting to have happen, and you're worried about this season right now, the drought, right? A lot of people are feeling the effects of, the economy and the marketplace and all the things that we've experienced in the last 18 months to 2 years. It's finally settling down, and we're getting a new norm here. You got through that. All that uncertainty and all the things, you got through that. So trusting the process to say, I don't know when, I don't know how, but this is what I want to have happen, or something better. And when you can shift to that and then work on yourself, that every day you're like, okay, how am I feeling? And then say, all right, well, where did the feeling come from? What was the thought that just came? Go back and start to assess and monitor. What you say when you talk to yourself is the most important thing. Go back and say, was that thought really serving me? No, it wasn't. Okay, what's a different thought? What's something else I could think about? And then sometimes you do have to reach out to a lifeline, okay? I have had many, many conversations where I reach out to my core people in tears, right? I've had calls with my coaches to say, and that's why we have a support system. That's why we have people to grab onto when we need something. You are not supposed to go this alone. I can't tell you enough about how important that is. You've got to have support, okay? Don't go it alone. So as we wrap up here, we close out this Money Mindset Mastery series. Just want to remind you that, as I mentioned, our programs are open right now. Connect with our team. We can get you more information on what that would look like. would love the opportunity to work with you, obviously, in a deeper capacity to really partner up and work on building the business of your dreams, but really getting social media working for you. And so that you're not working all the time and you're not burnt out or exhausted, or maybe you're trying to work this in around a full-time job or raising kids at home, homeschooling, and you're just like, there's not enough time in the day. You've got to learn how to be really productive and focus on those money-making activities. Get systems in place, get your DMO down, which is what you do every day. Learn how to use social media. That's what we do. We are experts in it. We're the best at it. I don't know another coaching program that teaches social media the way that we do. We are the best, okay? The buck stops here. And I can say that confidently because we're coming up on 700 students that have worked in our that have come through our 12-month programs, not even counting our other things we have. 700 students. We would love to invite you to be that next student, okay? Because at the end of the day, like we've talked about, this right here, what we've shared with you in the last few days and last week is a glimpse. I'm talking like a little glimpse of what it's like to work in our programs. And we have just scratched the surface. There's no way we can teach you everything in a few days, but also it's not serving you to be bouncing around and listening to YouTubes and podcasts and all the things. Like really just park yourself in one spot, pick one person to learn from, and we are inviting you to choose us. And we would love to be your coaching team. We can put our arms around you and help support you, guide you, coach you, and mentor you into true transformation. So I want to personally thank Team Goal Digger, everybody behind the scenes working so hard to make this successful. There is so much that goes into making these masterclasses what they are. And I really, really appreciate everything you guys have done behind the scenes. So let's give them a thank you in the comments. And also thank you guys for showing up. Yeah, just say boss in the comments if you want to know more about our programs. We're shutting everything down tomorrow night at midnight Central. And yes, thank our team in the comments. And thank you guys for showing up, doing the work. I mean, for those of you that have watched the videos and you're taking notes, like this is how we get this whole thing started and you're doing it. And it just goes to show that you are coachable and you want to make a change in your life. And we love that all day, every day. Like you are who we want to work with. And we're really excited to start that journey with you. So, and to all of our new students, welcome officially to our programs. We're so excited to work with you. Can't wait to see what we create together. And if you enjoyed this, these videos will be up till tomorrow night. So take a picture and say, hey, I finished the Money Mindset Mastery series with Kimberly and her team. Throw it in your stories and tag us at the Goal Digger Girl. And then also, I would love to know if you don't mind sharing the comments, because we'll probably send this out via email or out in social. What's been your favorite takeaways from your time with us? Just put that in the comments. What's been your favorite takeaways, results? What have you loved most about these masterclasses? So appreciate you guys. And again, thanks Team Goal Digger, and welcome new students. We'll see you inside the program. Everyone else, until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. We'll see you soon. My company is called the Goal Digger Girl, and we serve female entrepreneurs, teaching them how to use social media. So simple systems, online strategies, and sales and marketing. So really anyone who wants to be able to take their brick and mortar online, or maybe scale their business, monetize their personal brand, we teach them exactly how to do it through social media. For me personally, I was a selfish reason to come onto social. I was flying all over the country. I was doing weekend events. I was missing my kids. I just was missing all the things. And I thought, gosh, if I could do this from my cell phone, that's going to allow me to have that time freedom. So that's why I got on. But when I started having these different niches, different industries of women coming, I realized anybody can sell on social. Anyone can build a business. As we've seen, we really don't know what the future looks like. So being able to pivot and take your maybe brick and mortar offline and add an online dimension can be so powerful for anyone. The ultimate mission is to allow women to own their voice, own their worth, and know that they can make a difference. If we can ignite a fire in others, then they're going to show up differently. They're going to show up as a different wife, a different mom. And that starts to impart that, change in a community. And with social media, I mean, you literally can impact people all around the world. So what kind of gets me out of bed in the morning and keeps me up late at night is this drive that I have to ignite the fire in others, to inspire change, lasting change for themselves, their families, their communities, and eventually, I really think we can change the world. For those that are wanting to know more about what we do and how they can get into our community, head to our website, thegoaldiggergirl.com, and you're going to see a spot to enroll into our free community and come hang out with us. We have content. I do brand new trainings in there every single week. We have guest trainers. And then follow me anywhere on social for new content. I am literally on every platform. You can find me at The Goal Digger Girl on Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, wherever you're hanging out. I'd love to connect with you. Definitely shoot me a DM and say hello.